Good morning, everybody. It's your girl Miracle Sims, and you are listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. It is March the... No, it's not. It's May. It is May the 20th, 2021, and today the topic is out of time. God. Those of you guys that have been watching me live, you see that I've already am hyped for whatever reason, because I just created my own little version of on time God using out of time God, and yeah, but you got to, go watch the live version to catch that. But anywho, out of time God. Well, y'all, I guess I should start this thing out with a testimony. It's testimony time. Y'all know, I've been saying that, hey, I'm praying for a breakthrough, y'all. Praying for a breakthrough. I saw Ewan. Shout out to Ewan. He left a message this morning, speaking of my breakthrough. And I don't know how he knew, but yeah, just yesterday, God made a way, yeah, like he always do. He always open up them doors and everything. So thank and praise God for that. Able to catch up on some things. It's so funny though, like every time I get a little something to work with. Like when I don't have it, I got this plan. Like I told you guys, I have a to-do list. I have like these things that's like, okay, I really want to do this thing. I want to do this. But then when I get the funds and whatnot, I still hesitate on certain things. I'm still like, is it, hey, do I have to do that right now? Like, technically I could go invest in something else, or technically I could do something, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, I can put that out, but any time though, when I don't have it, I'm like, man, I should have did that thing. Like, so I'm gonna see if I'm gonna go ahead and take the leap for one of the, I don't know if I would consider it to be an endeavor, but it would be an investment that I think would be worth the while down the road as I go on. And I guess I hesitate to say, because I haven't invested in it yet, so I guess I'll let you guys know when or if I do that. But so I did get a little bit of a breakthrough yesterday, and also I had someone place an order with me with my nail polish business yesterday. So hey, God worked some things out, so I thank and praise God for each and every blessing, y'all. That's where I'm at right now. Thanking God for each and every blessing. Good morning, Shade Tree. You just missed it. I had a whole bunch of sillies and whatnot. Oh man, I used the new format, and so your comment is in the little square over there, barely to be seen. I should probably change that, huh? I don't know. You can let me know. You know what? Matter of fact, yeah, I want everybody to see. How about this one? We just trying some stuff now. Oh, that's cute. What you think of that, Shade Tree? You don't ever talk to me while I'm doing live. I don't know why I be talking to you, because you don't be saying that. I'm just kidding. What about this one then? Because I know that's the one we used to. Okay, let's just go with that. So anywho, out of time God, right? Out of time God. What are you talking about, Miracle? You just said he was on time for you just now, you got a blessing, and you talking about out of time God. What you talking about? Well, let's get into it. Just to go ahead and shout out, yes, I did my full routine. Woo! And I will say that it's just like every time when I don't do it, when I start back up doing it, I'm like, man, yeah, I feel the differences. I feel like I should have did it, in X, Y, and Z. Because that time for working out or that time for warming up and stretching and all that stuff is just more worship time for me. Like I said, I'm usually jamming to that Montel Fish. Look, Montel Fish need to sponsor me at this point, because I don't know. I'm just kidding. But yeah, like I'll be jamming to him or whatnot, and doing the the exercises and stuff like that. And so it's just another additional time of worship. And so and I told you guys I was doing it with the Faith Fit app a while back. That's more strenuous, to be honest. That was more strenuous than the warm up stretches situation that I be doing. But either way, both of those, they assist with the additional worship. So I don't know if that's something that's going to help somebody else, but, I know it helps me to take that time out to, dedicate, again, that time for worship, clearing my mind, and then, ultimately getting my mind and myself prepared to, wind down and then have that moment of prayer, meditation, and whatnot, with the Soul Space app, who also needs to sponsor me at this point, because I'm doing all the promotion for y'all. I'm just kidding. But anywho, but yeah, so so I did my full routine basically, and in the midst of it, I want to say, I don't know, at some point I did think about on time God, or God being on time with my, with the blessing that He gave to me, and I just always be on time, honestly, even though it don't happen when you want it, right, or it don't necessarily always happen when you think it's going to happen, or whatever the case is, but yeah, out of time God. So how does that go into out of time God? So let's get into it, y'all. Habakkuk, prayerfully I'm saying it right. Habakkuk 2 and 3. It says, "For still the vision awaits its appointed time. It hastens to the end. It will not lie. It will, if it seems slow, wait for it. It will surely come. It will not delay." As I was reading these verses this morning, or this verse in particular, I was reminded of the people of the Bible, because they received promises, and it's like it took years. Like, you know what I mean? I'm talking about, and we can't even, again, I talked about this in the past, but it's like, it's like sometimes we, in our time, it's like we can't wait a day, or we can't wait, a few hours for something, right? But in those days, God made them a promise, and I'm talking about it didn't happen until the next generation. And it's like, I don't know, like, how did those families hold on to faith? Like, how did they hold on to that promise that God gave them? And even when some of them that actually received the promise didn't necessarily get to see it. I don't know, this is one of those things to reflect on, I say. I mean, that's what came into my heart and mind this morning as I was reading that verse right there. But it says it will not delay, right? It might seem slow. If it seems slow, just wait. Wait for it. It will surely come. So, I mean, hey, I'm a testimony. I'm a living testimony. I mean, a lot of times, same thing for me. Like, again, say when I don't have, or when things are slow, or when things are like tight, or whatever the case is, it kind of feels like, oh, well, hey, this isn't, when can I get a breakthrough, right? Like, when could I get some assistance here, and everything like that. But, it happens right on time, y'all, when you really think about it. Like for me in my situation, God kept me in spite of that. That was the other thing too. Like, in spite of not having, what I guess I now have, I'll just put it like that. In spite of not having that for a while, He still kept me by, providing other ways and other means. And so, I guess my thing is like taking time to acknowledge each of those things, and not just waiting for, or not just expecting it to be huge, or to be the breakthrough to be this huge thing. Like, sometimes the breakthrough is just, like I said earlier, like placing an order. Like, somebody placed an order with me. That's a blessing. You know what I mean? Like, that gives me something a little more to work with. That can help me, get another episode edited. You know what I mean? Or whatever, or pay for StreamYard, or stuff like that. And so, these are the things that we should just keep in mind. That, again, maybe the blessing might not look the way you thought, or may not exactly be the way you thought, as well as just that patience, that waiting. Because I'm reminded of my son, but I told you guys, I was working with him with the whole, he will be patient mantra, if you want to say. Lately, he's been very vocal when he's hungry and everything like that. He's like, I'm hungry, or whatever. And then now he goes, Mommy, have some eat, please. It's like, goodness. Yeah, you're a hilarious little boy. But anywho, But yeah, and sometimes I have to say, like, if I'm doing something or whatever the case is, I'm like, hey, this is the time to be patient. He's like, okay, mommy. And, so that's the thing, sometimes we just have to be patient and wait. Now, let's go to Ecclesiastes 3:1. It says, for everything there is a season and a time for every matter under heaven. Well, there you go, y'all. Time and a season. I mean, that's the interesting thing. Again, you may still be wondering, well, what do you mean about out of time, Miracle? What do you mean? Because you say, we used to on time God, and did establish that God is usually on time, and what he does is on time in X, Y, and Z. What you mean by out of time? Well, let me go and get into that. So this next verse right here is going to be 2 Peter 3:8. It says, but do not overlook this one fact, beloved, that with the Lord 1 day is as 1,000 days, and 1,000, as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as 1 day. Now, a previous conversation me and my husband had actually opened my eyes to this. We were talking about, I think we were talking about the idea of how old the earth is. Because you'll hear when they talk about dinosaurs and all this other stuff, you'll hear that the earth is millions of years or whatever. But then biblically, you'll hear that the earth is like thousands of years. So, which is it, right? But I mean, in a way, my husband kind of reminded me of this verse about, like, how a day is 1,000 years for God, and a 1,000 years is a day. That, basically he's outside of time, outside of this box of time that we, I don't know if you say we created, but for lack of a better way to say it right now, that I guess that we have created. And I don't know, they gave me a little bit more clarity and understanding about God being outside of the realm or the constraints of time. So perhaps it could be millions of years, right? Or perhaps it could be thousands of years. I don't know if it matters. I mean, at least not time-wise to God, it don't seem to. But either way, it's just something to think about, something to think. So this is what I mean by out of time. He is out of the constraints in our box of time. Therefore, I mean, the seasons and whatnot that the last verse mentioned, there's a season, there's a time for everything. And obviously in that first verse, it was talking about how, appointed times and whatnot. So, I mean, I guess the thing to remember is that it all has been pre-planned. It all has been, worked out, I guess, from beginning to end. And we're just on our timeline of whatever that is. And that's next level thinking. But that's my understanding of the situation. But I hope that encourages you and inspires you when you think about time, and when you think about, like, things not happening when you want, or when you feel like you need it, or whatever. So yeah. Now, another verse I want to share with you guys is Acts 1:7. It says, he said to them, it is not for you to know times or seasons that the Father has fixed by his own authority. Well, there you go. I don't know what else to say there. I mean, that breaks it all the way down. I mean, this is why we shouldn't lean to our own understanding, right? This is why we shouldn't, I guess, even worry about this at all, because apparently it's not for us to know. That may bother some people. I don't know how that makes everybody feel to hear that it may not just be your business. But I mean, that's what the words say. They ain't miracle. That's what the Bible say right here in Acts 1:7. But regardless of all of that, there are several verses in the Go Deeper section that we all can just reflect on, especially if we're going through a time of feeling impatient, feeling as if, things aren't happening when we want to, things like that. hopefully the verses that are in the Go Deeper section will give us a better perspective of this whole idea of time and this whole idea of, God and his timing and him being outside of this, again, the constraints of time. And I hope that encourages you and inspires you today. Let that marinate on your heart, souls, and minds. Now, the Bible verse of today is Psalm 37:4. It says, "Delight thyself in the Lord, and he shall give thee the desires of thine heart." Friends, I hope you all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. I pray you guys can go forth and have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Y'all know that tomorrow is Friday. That means that we have a new episode of God, Sex, and Love, the talk show, going to be going live. It's with Miss Keisha Hall. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to be live. I'm saying the episode is going live tomorrow at 7 p.m. on our Facebook, YouTube, and on GodSexandLove.com. And that is a chat with Miss Keisha Hall. And you guys can tune into that. I hope and pray you do. Friends, I hope you guys have a good day. Thank you for listening. Bye. Hello everyone, it's your girl Miracle Sims, and you already know that your girl is now an author, and my very first publication is none other than a creation inspired by the juice. That's right, friends, you can go on Amazon.com and find the Juice 30-day Bible study journal. And this, friends, I hope and pray will help you create your own Bible study experience similar to the one that your girl here shares with you every day here on God, Sex, and Love.